There's something primal about Doom, always has been. Rip, tear, reload, repeat. It's less about story and more about fury, momentum, and turning every room into a brutal ballet of chaos. But Doom, the Dark Ages, it's doing something different. This time, ID Software is dragging us back in time, way back, to tell the origin story of the Slayer, and not just with lore tucked away in codex pages. This is a full-on cinematic campaign, soaked in blood and hellfire, set in a world that looks more Dark Souls than Mars base. This is a prequel to Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, but don't expect a stripped-down experience. If anything, the Dark Ages might be the most ambitious chapter yet. You're still the Slayer. You're still the one-man army with no patience for demons or subtlety. But now, you're not some lone marine on a space station. You're the super weapon of gods and kings, literally forged for war. And the universe is much more medieval in tone. Think suits of armor fused with space-age tech, corrupted castles crawling with abominations, and weapons that feel ancient but hit like futuristic death machines. The first thing that stands out is the setting. This isn't hell leaking into UAC labs, it's hell tearing through fortresses, torching ancient forests, and sprawling across ruined battlegrounds. And it's all been built with the latest version of the idTech engine, which means it looks downright savage. Dark, gritty, oppressive, but still fast and fluid. The lighting, the scale of the levels, the grotesque detail in the enemy designs, this is Doom through a fantasy lens, and it works surprisingly well. Now let's talk about the gameplay, because that's where Doom lives and dies. The studio says this game brings back that vicious, grounded combat the series was built on. And if you're reading between the lines, that probably means a return to the meatier, more methodical pace of Doom 2016, with less air dashing and more raw aggression. It's still fast, still fluid, but more brutal than acrobatic. You've got your classics. The super shotgun is back, because of course it is. But the new star is the shield saw. It's basically a spinning buzzsaw that doubles as a shield, and it screams medieval Doom in the best way. From what's been shown, it's not just about blocking. It's about charging headfirst into a pack of demons and carving your way out. If Eternal was a ballet of movement, the Dark Ages is shaping up to be a slugfest. Violent, up close, personal. The enemies, expect the usual nightmare fuel, but with a twisted medieval spin. Demons that look like they crawled out of cursed dungeons. Hulking monstrosities with bone armor and corrupted swords. And you just know the boss fights are going to go all out. This is Doom, after all. If there's a way to make something bigger, louder, and more terrifying, they'll do it. But maybe the most interesting part of Doom, the Dark Ages, is the narrative. For the first time, the story isn't just background noise, it's central. You're not unraveling what happened, you are the story. This is where the legend of the Slayer begins. You're fighting not just to survive, but to become the icon of fear we meet in the later games. And there's a new villain here too, someone who sees themselves as the true force of fear, trying to erase the Slayer and take that crown for themselves. That's a compelling setup. One Slayer, one would-be god, and a universe caught in the crossfire. Exploration is getting a serious upgrade too. The levels are described as the biggest IDs ever made. That doesn't just mean longer hallways, it means more verticality, more secrets, more hidden paths, and side areas. Expect to be rewarded for poking around. Whether that's lore drops, new weapons, or just hellish vistas to soak in between battles, the world sounds layered and dense, way more than just a series of arenas. So where does that leave us? Doom. The Dark Ages is shaping up to be the boldest reimagining of Doom in decades. It keeps the heart of what makes the franchise so addicting. The rhythm, the aggression, the raw satisfaction of every pull of the trigger, but wraps it in a whole new atmosphere. It's heavier, it's darker, it's more grounded in a mythic tone. And crucially, it feels like a proper evolution. This isn't just another chapter, it's the foundation of the Slayer's entire legend. If you've ever wondered what forged the rage behind the visor, this is it.
Slayer has been activated.
The Slayer is dangerous. Keep your distance.
We can't stay here!
Ensign, do you have a lock on the Slayer's location? Confirmed. Weapon drop incoming in 3, 2, 1. under lockdown. There's a key in the nearby church. Route him the location. Key located. Gate closed. The village is secure. Tier 5 readings in the South Bay. Incoming.
A Titan has been summoned.
We have to move! Someone get on that turret! They're making a final push.
we had a leash.
The Makers felt a weapon as powerful as the Slayer.
Should be guided.
And you agreed.
He's not one
Of us. They want assurances, and so did I.
The beast is tearing through our ranks once again. And still, you continue to be influenced by this outsider. It is not this witch who is forced onto the battlefield against the Slayer.
All the power of hell cowering before one man. Our enemy is divided. The time is now. And the heart of Argent gives us the power to conquer the beast and crush his allies.
The Horde is yours to command. For now, Prince Azareth. I will be informing the High Council of your progress.
They fear him, and so your dominion over hell is not absolute.
Avoid the Slayer. We should focus on breaking the humans